All right, it's 6 o'clock. I called what is this?
Jefferson Township.
Yeah, the Jefferson Township July 23rd meeting to order. The minutes from the last meeting. Everybody get a chance to read them?
One change I saw that needs to be done, and that was second to last paragraph, the last paragraph for sure on the first page. It's not John Craig, it's John Gray, Fire
Okay.
Chief Markle.
Okay.
It's Gray. That's the only change. Besides that, I make the motion to approve the minutes as
So
presented.
I got one question I want to ask Abby here to make sure that we got this right. Abby, is there something that's going to be due on July 1st of 2027 that we have to take to the Wells County Council?
Yeah, or the local income tax.
Okay, and that's what you were
It's a
talking about.
signed resolution.
Okay, all right, then I don't have any problem with the minutes.
Well, gotta make a motion to approve them.
Yes, I make the motion to approve the minutes as presented with the change of John Gray's last name.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Which copy we signing?
AJ sign it. Let him sign it.
I'm not signing anything right now.
Oh, well, you want to sign it? Here's one. Go ahead. Did you go ahead and make that correction on yours then, Gray?
Yeah, that was.
Right down here where
Yeah.
it says Craig.
Okay. And it's, what is it? It's
Craig, Gray.
Gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a copy of that there tonight.
No,
Did that for the meeting?
Yeah,
yeah, same here. I'll need it. You need to sign
after
it.
you sign it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, discuss CHB 1461 and SB 1.
Okay, Abby,
That's me.
if, yeah, I
First
think
off, I
that,
do want to apologize if I interrupt anybody. There's a slight delay. I think, so I'm not quite sure when you all are done talking or I start talking before. So if I interrupt anybody, I'm sorry.
okay,
So it's been a month or so since I was up there and talked to everybody initially about all the changes that are coming. So have you thought any questions, before I get started on what you have to do, is there any other questions you
Well,
thought of?
I had a question. The last meeting we had, you talked about that we might possibly need to inflate our budget to keep the state from taking so much money. I guess I need to know how to, I want me and the board to understand, we don't like to inflate the budget. You know, we don't want to spend any more money than we have to. And I know if we do inflate the budget, that money won't be spent anyway. It will just stay there. But how are you, right now, if, let's say that the state's going to take 30,000 out of our general fund. We're not going to have a rainy day fund, so they won't be able to get any money out of there. So the only money they can get will be out of the general fund, correct?
Yes.
Okay, now let's just say they can take $30,000. What do we need to do then to protect ourselves?
You have to plan a 26 budget and capital improvements in 26 and 27. That will essentially be end of 2026, so December 31st, it appears on paper that you will have a $0 cash balance.
Run it by us, not the cash balance, what did you say there?
You have to essentially budget, so you have to enter into a budget for 2026. So the capital improvement plan template that DLGF gave us asks us to put in your estimated December 31st, 2026 cash balance. If there's anything left on that, that's what they're gonna take. So you have to act as though you will have a $0 cash, sorry, my child's are police person. You have to make it look like on paper, the township will have no money in the bank as of December 31st, 26. And the way to do that is the DLGF, which is the government that approves your budget, assumes wrongfully but rightfully in our benefit this year. If you budget the money, they assume you will spend the money. So if you budget for all of your cash that's in your bank and all the revenue you're expected to get in 26, in their eyes, in the state's eyes, you will have no cash as of the end of 26.
And we're talking just the general fund?
Yes, just the general, because your assistance fund and your fire fund are restricted for use.
So in the general fund, then, you're suggesting that we would want to inflate the numbers in the general fund?
Yes, if you currently right now, based on my estimation, will have to increase your budget, which right now we have a 3% increase, 131,000. And that's with a $50,000 capital improvement. You will have to up that by an additional 100,000. So to prove to the Department of Local Government and Finance, or DLGF, that you have nothing to transfer, essentially you have to have a 2026 general fund budget of $230,000.
Well, right now, I was planning on about a $77,000 budget. How do I get,
You're gonna have to transfer.
how do I get that up to there legally?
So there are various ways to round up every category that you have in your budget. You all lease this office space, correct?
Right.
You could, let's say, plan in 5 years, you want to buy a plot of land and build your own office space. And so I would recommend that you budget like $20,000 in 2026, and then $40,000 in 2027, and $60,000 in 2028. That's your method of saving
Okay, so I don't have to do this all in,
land.
I don't have to do this all in 1 year. It can be done over 5 years.
It can be done however long you want it to, because the acquisition of a land or building is a capital project. And so we can put that in your capital improvement plan. And then we could budget for it.
So that would be a line item in the general fund then?
We can put under capital outlays, purchase of building or purchase of land.
Well, what happens if you tell them you're gonna do this and you don't do it? We don't have any ambitions of building an office.
They don't ask you right now if you don't spend all your budget.
How much, I said I was gonna budget 77,000, and you said I need to have 200 and what?
230.
230. And but that could be over 5 years.
Nope, that's just for 2026.
Just for 1 year, I gotta go from 77,000 up to 230,000.
Or you could make a, let me see something real quick. You could make a transfer to your rainy day fund if you wanted to. Not your rainy day fund, I apologize. Your assistance fund. You could put money in there. that would restrict its use for assistance and related expenditures, but it would protect it from a transfer.
Okay, if I was to add a line item to the general fund to help get towards just 230,000, what am I calling this? Capital, am I calling it capital improvements? What am I calling that line
You
item?
Tell me what you want it. No, you gotta, don't call it road and infrastructure because then that's a transfer. We wanna avoid that terminology in your general fund. We would call it some type of capital expense.
Capital,
Or some people are budgeting for an extra employee. Or do you offer your employees health insurance?
no,
Add a line item in your personal services for health insurance like you might.
but we won't.
You just won't spend
Okay.
it.
You have to make it look like on paper, you're gonna go broke. But
What?
you actually will not.
The only thing it looks, if you're gonna over budget, you're gonna end up building your reserves at the end of the year and they're gonna get it the next year, the 30%.
Not if you keep up this trend.
You gotta keep budgeting high every single year.
It's a shell game.
Correct.
Every
It
year,
is.
the shell game continues.
Yep, and it's unfortunate because it is making local government less transparent for the residents. And it's making saving and being fiscally responsible next to impossible.
Okay,
Yes, whoever's in the audience said it perfect, it's a shell game.
let's say we didn't play the shell game. Let's say I was going to budget 77,000 for the general fund. They're going to take approximately 30,000 of my 77,000, right? And then that won't leave.
No,
They aren't gonna
No,
take
no,
it.
no. They're taking that
they're
100,000.
gonna take 30% of the cash.
So the 100,000 we have sitting in the bank, they're gonna take 30% of that.
Okay, now you lost me.
So cash in bank, we got 100,000, correct? That's what they're taking. So any cash we have in bank is what they're taking. And what they're doing is taking it and giving it to either the towns or the county, whoever we set it up with, and that's used for capital, for,
Capital improvement.
Yeah.
project. It has to be within Jefferson.
has to be infrastructure
But-
projects.
But they're gonna take that, but we still get to say what they're gonna spend it on, right?
You get approval. So you can't necessarily say, I want this road repaved. Say you do it for Wells County. Wells County will give you projects and you say, yes, this is approved.
So if there's any project in Jefferson Township, they tell you, hey, we got this project, do you want to use your money?
What did you say no?
Well, she said last time they don't actually have to do the project. There's no one following up after the fact to
Right.
verify a capital project is
Yeah.
action.
But
But if you say no, I don't believe in that project. You aren't
Well, then
gonna
the
get some
county-
money on
the
that.
county sits on that money then. We lose that money no matter what.
County
County gets it.
interest that you all.
Yeah. We just lose that money. Whether we say yay or nay on the
Year after
project.
year.
Okay, I got lost on this. If we don't do the shell game, and you said cash on hand after the budget money that, so if say I got a $200,000 budget, but I got $300,000 in the bank, they're going to get 30% of the 100,000?
They're gonna get 90,000.
They're only gonna get 30% of your rainy day fund and 30% of your general. All the other funds are protected.
Yeah, but
Yes.
that's where I'm misunderstanding, because let's say I budget 77,000 for the general fund, and the rainy day fund, our money's probably won't be there. So I've got 77,000 budgeted for the general fund, but you talked like they're gonna take more money than 30% of my $77,000, right?
They don't take anything.
They don't take anything in your budget. They take that excess money.
They take their.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking, this excess money, what is this excess money then?
So there's a difference. You have to think this cash and budget are two different things. The cash is what you have in your bank, regardless of your budget. The budget just is what DLGF says you can spend in 2026. They're talking actual cash in your bank. They're gonna take 30% of that at the end of the year.
Okay, let's say I got $300,000 in the bank. And I got a budget of 200,000. They're still gonna take 30% of the 300.
No,
They're gonna
if you've
take,
got 100,000 in the bank and you budget for 100,000 in 2026, in the state's eyes, you will spend every penny of that 100,000 you budgeted, which means at the end of 2026, you will have $0 in your bank account. And that means there's nothing that anybody can take. But if you have 100,000 in your bank and you budget 50,000, DLGF will assume you spend all of the 50,000. That means you have 50,000 left in the bank as of the end of 2026. They will take 30% of that remaining 50,000.
okay, so if I got $100,000 in the bank, and I budget 100,000, then they're not gonna get anything then.
Correct, because on paper, it looks like you have
It's
$0 in the bank at the end of 26.
Okay.
So basically what I'm telling you is if you don't want to transfer anything, I need your 2026 general fund budget to be what you expect your cash on hand in your bank to be as of December 31st, 2025.
What's your guys' thoughts on the scam, not the scam, the shell game?
I'd like to see some examples so I can follow it through.
Well, I can make up,
No, I want the examples from her. She's the consultant. You don't understand it.
no, what I'm saying is I can make the budget based on what Abby is saying. Let Abby review what I have said to see if she agrees with what I have done. Basically, I'm just looking at, I need to budget 300, whatever the amount of money comes out to be. I have to budget that much money.
So Abby was saying you have to budget for 230,000.
Yeah.
Our tax revenue for next year sounds like it's gonna be 130 for general fund. And to cover that 100,000, you need to budget for 230, that extra.
Okay, then,
Can you all just give me a couple of minutes real quick?
yeah,
Yeah.
Sure.
Something from their website from a different computer. Okay, so how much roughly do you know that you'll have on hand cash in your general fund at the end of this year?
right now we've got 320,000.
No, you don't. In just the general fund.
No, just general,
Just,
just general. I've got roughly 100,000 estimated.
how much? I think
She said roughly 100,000. She has estimated.
So I'm going to share my screen with all of you.
Well, we started the year with 116 left at the beginning of the 2025, and we've added to it through the year, so we're gonna have over 100,000.
Okay.
I didn't bring my printouts from last month to tell what,
cash and funds ledger.
yeah.
I can go get
She's
that.
got it on there.
Okay, so let's say you're gonna have 200,000.
Do you want the exact numbers?
No.
Okay.
Just rounded. And so, let's say, you want to see this okay, or do you need to zoom in?
You're good.
If we, I don't know exactly how this works. Okay, so their version of this is very simplistic. So this is what our estimated cash balance is on December 31st, 2026. And here's all the restrictions we can place on the cash. Contractual obligations restricted by state or federal law. Third party restricted, like if somebody grants you money and says you can only spend it on this. Encumbered by contract or purchase order. And then the capital improvement plan stuff, which is an automatic drop down. So down here, you'll see the adjusted estimated 26 cash balance and then the transfer that would be allowed. Now, let's say that you up your budget for 2026 to be 50,000 more than what you originally, let's say your 2026 budget. And then expected revenues. 2026 budget. Okay, Larry, you think your budget will be about 77,000?
For the general fund, yeah.
Okay, and then I have your estimated revenues to be 88,000. So if we take our cash balance plus our revenues minus your budget, so it's 161. Okay, so you'll end up transferring about 48,000. Now, let's say we up your budget from 77,000 to, we'll roughly double it, 150,000. That means you have cash on hand roughly 88,000. That makes your transfer 26,400. Now let's make your budget 200,000. Now you're down to 11,000. So do what I originally, $230,000 budget. In the eyes of the state, you'll have $8,000 left at December 31st, 2026, which means only 30% of that is 2,000. You see how kind of we're working so far?
Yeah.
Is this the example you were wanting to see, or you want more detail?
No, I think this gives me a general idea. I'd like to run my numbers. I've got this form. You guys sent me this form. I'd like to fill this form out, and then I would like to have you review it for me and give me your input into it.
Okay, this is this DLGF capital improvement plan template though. And it's available on their site.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, so if we do This part's just, oops, too many zeros. So see, this is kind of what we're unfortunately having to do, is just work backwards to figure out. So based on these really rough numbers, a $238,000 budget will make it look like at the end of the year, 2026, you'll have $0 left in the bank, which means you won't have to transfer anything.
And we can continue to do this year after year until they decided this isn't working out and try something else.
But I thought we were only allowed the 4% growth quotient in 2026.
That's for your property tax revenues. There is no
Okay.
limit on how much you can grow your budget.
Okay. So why wouldn't you want to over budget it to make sure you're out of money? Say 500,000.
You have to cut your budget. They'll cut it to get to where there's zero cash. So we want to go
I'll tell
$1.
you, this is a bunch of Chinese fire drill here.
So you
So
gotta
this
make,
is a different form than the budget itself, right?
no, this is budget.
So the people will be, if he ups his budget to 150,000, the people are going to be taxed on 150,000, right?
No, we're only gonna be taxed at
At
88,
4%,
at the max is which 88,000, right?
right?
Yeah.
Only the
So
4%.
our property,
But to the people, when they look at it in
it's
the
gonna look
paper,
like,
it's gonna look
Yeah, they're
bad.
gonna say, yeah,
It's gonna look bad.
The issue
It's
here,
gonna
though,
look like the township is running your township into the ground.
Yes.
but we're not, like, again, $100,000.
We really are.
You really
The
are.
$100,000 for Jefferson Township, $100,000 is not bad compared to other townships.
Well,
I know there's one.
I don't care about that.
I know.
I just want
Right.
to know what it's gonna be for the people
Yeah.
that are who's voting for you, what it's gonna make you look
None
like.
of this will change how much you pay in your taxes.
Right, but that's not what it's gonna look
Side of
like.
it.
So then the budget
Well,
is
it's-
not really a true thing.
No.
But again, we're not,
Transparency.
it's,
The budget's going,
it's just the way
with this shelving having to continue every year, that means the budget is gonna have to be elevated every year.
every year.
Which means it is only a matter of time before that money ends up getting spent anyways, because there will be access to it because it is in the budget.
we already have access to it anyways. We just have
That's
to
only
appropriate it.
general.
We just have
It
to
has to be
appropriate.
appropriated by everyone.
Correct. But even the budget, whether, like I said, again, this is, why the state did this is not because we have 100,000. I know there's at least one township in this county that's got still 800,000 in their bank account right now.
And they're gonna do the same thing though, so it's irrelevant.
Correct. But there's other townships in the state of Indiana, well over 1 million plus in their bank account. So what they're trying to do is,
Depending on population.
every township is getting in trouble for the very few townships that have not done their job of taking care of their, and that's why this money has to go for infrastructure. It can't go for willy-nilly. It has to go for street improvement, it has to go for water improvement, it has to go for,
Which makes perfect sense.
and that's,
They're going to do the same thing here, so this accomplishes nothing
Right.
except hiding numbers from.
but again, she, like, some of these townships can't make their budgets $1 million. If their budget was 100,000 this year, and they're trying to make it $1 million, they're not gonna be able to do that.
But
So
the
it's,
townships that have $1 million probably don't have $100,000 budget. You're talking Marion County, that sort of thing.
I don't know.
They have that. I mean, Harrison notwithstanding. but
well,
most of the-
Marion County doesn't have true township government either. It's,
Come on, we're getting off track here. Let's get back on here.
right.
Well, let me draw, I've got that same form that Abby had there. Let me get with Abby, put the numbers in there that fit us, and then I'll share those numbers with you guys and let you see what you think.
Can you email us like that example so we have some time to sit down and look and really think it through, Abby?
Yeah, I
No.
can send you your email addresses.
I've got that same form. I can get email to you.
I like it to come from Abby.
So just email her with all of our
Yeah,
email
email
addresses.
her all of our emails.
Yeah.
So she's got them.
Okay.
Yeah, if I get your email, I'll send you my application link to screen just a couple minutes ago. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Enough on that subject
It
then.
is, well, just real quick, you still have to do a few things. One, you have to have a capital improvement plan by September 30th. If you don't, you will not get any property tax revenue in 2026. The state will withhold that. Second, we're working on all this paperwork, so you guys won't have to do it. I'll need you to sign a resolution creating the road and infrastructure fund. I'll need you to sign a resolution agreeing to enter into an MOU or memorandum of understanding. And I will need you to pick an entity, either Ossian or Wells County, to enter the MOU with. We're making the language vague, so the transfer is if it's as applicable. You have to do these things per statute. So we'll have all the language and all the paperwork ready for you. I just need to know which entity you want.
And we have to decide by September 30th. Or
No.
when?
But you're supposed to decide by July 1st, but there's no repercussions if you don't do it. So we're just doing it by the end of the year or by your budget. So if DLGF says, did you do this? We can check the box that says yes.
You'd like to have this information. Are you guys willing to make this Wells County versus Town of Austin decision tonight so that she can have it?
Do you have to pick one, or do you do half and half for each one?
I believe you can do whatever you want with that. It just has to be one entity, or at least one entity within the township's boundaries.
So we could split it between Ossian and those if we wanted to. Did I know that was a question?
Yes, you have to do two MOUs then.
Okay, so that was a question I know another township was asking if they could do that, split it between two entities, so it is possible, we just have to have two. Okay. So we could split it 50-50 or 30-70 or whatever.
Any thoughts on that, Tim? On which way you want to go?
Are you guys meeting in August?
August,
August 13th is, but it's the first hearing meeting, but that's when we're going to meet next.
Okay.
that is soon enough.
By then.
Okay, we'll put it on the agenda for August. Because you have to have this resolution and everything signed by us before September 30th, right?
Technically, no, there's no due date for all of these items. The only due date is the capital improvement fund, but we want it done before your budget session, like before you submit your budget, because we're worried that DLGF will ask you about it and we would like to say yes instead of no. It's a way of precaution on our end.
So
We don't want anybody to come back and say, oh, but it's denied.
So we really need to have a decision on where we want to split it to by the 13th. And then our 27th
Yes.
meeting, we need to be able to agree to all the stuff we need to sign that day
In the budget. Yeah.
on the budget, the finalized budget meeting.
And when is that?
August 27th.
And then the 27th, I will probably have you all also sign approving the capital improvement plan, because that'll give us a month to get it uploaded, because we do not want to wait on that.
And if we don't have that, you said we don't get tax revenue, correct?
Correct.
Well, lit is controlled by the county council now, so. We got
Well, not the 27.
If people don't do this shell game and there's 30% of their money taken every year, eventually they're out of money, right?
That's the
How
idea.
do these townships continue to operate then?
It won't technically be out of money. They just gotta figure out.
They won't have any
It's your
excess.
It's your extra money.
Yeah, it's your extra money, not your budget.
So basically, they will end up taking all of our extra money eventually.
That's the goal.
Out of
That's the goal.
the two funds. The other, they can't touch the Keene Fire.
Well,
Again, we're not township, and that this law was written for. There's other ones in the state that we're all getting punished for.
yeah.
Their long-term goal is, for most people I've spoken with, the state's long-term goal is to eliminate small townships, either by forced merging or just dissolving small townships altogether. So I truly believe that's the end goal. They've tried every year for the last 15 years to get rid of townships, so it's unfortunately a matter of time. Now, a merger of townships can only be done on a non-election year, so next year that's not an option.
Okay, enough discussion on that then.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim.
All right, to discuss the purchase of the tanker.
Abby, I asked you to run some numbers. What I am suggesting to the board is, I could have budgeted $400,000. We could have taken a loan out for $400,000 to buy a tanker this year. And I got with the fire chief, and I told him, we've got a fire engine we're paying off right now. It will be paid off at the end of this year. Basically, I could not raise taxes, and I could buy a $500 tanker, and the taxes would remain the same. We'd have the engine paid off, but then we'd have a new loan for the tanker. Lancaster Township just got done buying a brand new one for $420,000. So when I talked to Ben, I told him about we could keep the budget the same and buy you a $400,000 tanker. Well, he researched it, and he got back with me and he said, Larry, I don't need a $400,000 tanker. He sent me pictures, and I've sent them to the board. We can buy a tanker that the fire chief is comfortable with. Comes out of Oregon, but it would be $179,000. Now, if I take my rainy day fund, which is around $21,000 right now, my Cuban fire fund's about $121,000. That totals up to about $142,000 that we basically got saved that we could use for a fire truck tanker. If I could take and appropriate around $36,000 from the general fund, I would have $179,000, and we wouldn't have to take a loan out.
But you didn't tell the people that. You told the people that you were going to take $118,000 from your Keene Fire.
This is what I was told to put in the paper.
This is the paper with it in.
This was, Abby said to go high. To go high because you can always come down.
Well, but you said you were taking 121 out. We only have 118 advertised.
Abby said to go high, I can always come down.
To the records on, like, you have a cash balance in your Cume Fire Fund of $118,717.
Right, but he advertised in the paper 118, so he can't go higher than that. See, this is,
No, we'll have to only, yeah, so he probably rounded it up. I did that advertisement, that was me. I use that for the cash balances, and that's why the general fund amount is a little higher than the 36 that Larry just said. I
But
wanted to round up in case the purchase price went up a little bit, and to cover any other.
do you understand the general is paid out of two different taxing groups? For fire in Jefferson Township, the people that live inside of Ossian pay Ossian for their fire protection. The people that live in Jefferson Township outside of Ossian is a separate taxing group. So you can't pull money out of the general and take it for the township to buy a fire truck because it's a different taxing group.
There is money in that,
Can, but people could be angry about that.
there is money in that general fund that did come up until 2 years ago.
But you can't go back and pick up money from years past. The only money you can pull out of that general is what you collect that year, the little bits and pieces. You can't go back and say, well, we put bits and pieces in here, we put bits and pieces in here. They won't let you do that. They won't let you do it.
How do you know that? I talked to George Helpton when George was still here, and he figured out, let's say we had 100,000 in the general fund. He gave me a figure at that time of how much was fire fund money, or not my fire fund, but money from the township and money from Ossian. And he said you could use that money however you wanted it. The part from Jefferson Township.
Day fund?
No, not rainy day. No.
What
See, back
fund are you talking about?
the general fund, up until 2 years ago,
It's only the outside people that put into that general fund.
well, it used to be, we put,
Well, it's actually everybody.
Yeah. Everybody put in the general, but you're going to take it out of everybody's fund and use it in these people's fund over here.
Which is the township.
see, up until 2 years ago, I was putting, when we got the money from the treasurer, they said this amount of money goes into the fire fund and this amount of money goes into the general fund. So part of that, and a good portion of that money that's in the general fund can be used for the fire tanker. Now, I don't know how to prove how much money is in there, but I know George Helpton gave me a figure. And I'd have to talk with the DLGF and see if they can figure that out for me.
So
But you understand, Abby, what we're saying?
Technically, I get why you wouldn't want to do that. Yes, because you are split. Technically, it is allowed. You can spend general fund cash reserve on general anything you want to. But I do get how it would be frustrating to.
Well, why don't we take all that general fund and put it on the tanker then? You want to get rid of it?
Well, then that's not really fair to the town.
Well, that's right.
But you gotta think about it, Ossian and Jefferson Township are about 50-50 population, correct? So you take, so 50% was Jefferson Township money, and another 50% is Ossian money. So he's not taking the full 100,000,
he said it right over.
because then you're taking Ossian. But if you take 30,000, well, that 30,000 is coming out of the Jefferson portion, you're still leaving Ossian's portion alone. That's what it comes down to,
We just want to take the Jefferson portion.
portion of the tax.
Burden split 50-50 between the town and the outside part.
They did it based on population, right, or how's it broke down, Abby, on that? How's it?
So technically, residents of Ossian will likely pay a higher tax rate than residents of unincorporated Jefferson Township. And the reason is they don't pay Ossian's tax rate.
I mean, actual property tax dollars. Does the outside of Ossian pay about half of what the property tax
So,
is versus half, not the population?
The assessed values
I
are
think-
pretty close.
I think the census value is about 50-50.
Okay, that's what
They're close.
Yeah, they're within 10, 20,000.
I think Jefferson's just a little bit higher than Ossian was.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
So technically, yeah, so it's,
Some of that just to meet it.
Because a lot more people live in Ossian
Right.
than outside.
but
No,
what about,
Jefferson Township actually has more people than us.
Do they?
The last census I got, yes.
Okay.
Actually, the
So Jefferson Township, their assessed value is 220, the unincorporated Jefferson Township is $221 million of assessed value. The town of Austin portion of Jefferson Township is $205 million. So it is about 50-50.
But Austin has all the factories that they have given tax abatements to and that are not on there, where we don't have that tax abatement out here in the country.
We should bring it up to 50-50.
No, that's assessed value is different from your tax value. So even if what they're giving them is their tax abatement, is obviously it's not collecting that much tax from them. So that assessed value still stays, but the tax abatement is, hey, we're giving you a tax break on your assessed value or your property. So the assessed value stays the same no matter what. They just start giving these companies, hey, we want to help you out, bring more people in to work here, so we're going to give you a tax break. So the assessed value is still that much. It doesn't change whether your tax abatement or if they put the what they're doing up there with the housing development with that. It doesn't change the assessed value. It will go up for Ossian once those houses start going in, the roads in. Ossian's assessed value will go up. But right now, so it's about 50-50. So technically, if we do the 30,000, that's basically Jefferson's portion of that money and not Austin's portion of the money.
That's what George led me to believe back a couple years ago when we discussed this. And we can split it 50-50 and we would be not double dipping.
To the presence of Austin.
If you wanted to, you could take a portion of it out of your fire fund and reduce that cash balance. Since only Jefferson Township pays into your fire fund.
So you say we could take some out of the fire fund.
Yes.
In the excess above the budget.
Let's get back. Well, the discussion on the purchase of the tanker. My thoughts on the tanker is no purchase on a tanker until we got a fire agreement.
But every part of it doesn't matter. We can vote on that after we're done with it.
Right.
Whether we can deal with that after we get done with Abby, she doesn't need to be involved in.
She's kind of that. So she put these numbers together. So that's the number she's saying, hey, that would work to purchase the tanker if we needed to purchase it.
But you didn't realize that it was two taxing entities when you put them together, did you, Abby?
No, I did not. I didn't realize that it was that big of an issue. You have roughly last year your cash balance for fire was 68,000. So you've got wiggle room. We could redo the advertisement if you wanted to and take a bigger portion out of the fire fund and then a very small dollar amount from your general fund.
But see, we're taking out of that, we're appropriating money ahead to make enough money to pay the contract this year anyhow. That's where it's coming from, that 68,000.
So I think what we need to do is how Abby presented it to the taxpayers is how we need to say, yeah, we agree with how she presented it. That's the most logical way of doing it because, like you said, we're not collecting enough taxes this year to cover our budget. So whatever money we have left over has to cover that budget that we don't have. It's going to be the same probably next year and the year after.
And I don't know how long this.
Historically, your fire fund operates at a deficit.
Right.
Yeah. The max levy hits us in our fire contracts costs more than what the max levy is.
So that's why I wouldn't recommend taking all 68,000. I would only take 25,000 out of it, which would make your general fund contribution if you purchase the tanker with cash much less.
I don't know how long this $179,000 fire truck is going to be around. The guy is doing me a favor right now, and he said he will hold it until the board approves. but he's got other people that are interested in this truck, and he said it's going to be done sometime in August.
But the goal also is to sell off the 2 trucks, correct?
Yes, we would sell those off.
So even then, even if we had to take some from general, we could put that money, what we sell out of the we'll take put it back into the general.
All right, if we're going to discuss it, then we're going to discuss it. If you discuss it, so we're going to discuss it. So
I got one question.
Okay,
for you. Can the general loan money to the Cume Fire when it's 2 different taxing groups? Can they actually do that, and then the Cume Fire pay that group back?
I wasn't going to borrow the money. I was going to appropriate it.
Appropriate just says you can spend it.
Yeah, I'm not going to borrow it. I don't need to borrow it.
But we can
He was talking about a loan.
I don't. Go ahead, Abby.
No, I believe he was talking about taking it from the general fund as it advertised. And then if when vehicles are sold, that money would go back into the general fund, which would negate basically the purchase. So it would reduce the burden to the Jefferson County taxpayer, or the Jefferson Township taxpayers.
That's what we would do. We would put the money right back in the general fund because that's where it came out of.
To his point, today, you have to vote on how it was advertised for the general fund. If you choose not to do that, and you want to pay for the fire fund or a split, you would have to re-advertise and have another vote on it.
I personally don't think we need to take it out of the fire fund. I think the general fund is sufficient, especially since we're going to put money back in the general fund.
So for this portion of it, we need to decide, do we agree with how Abby presented it in the paper, or do we not agree?
Let me see.
okay, first of all, since you guys brought up the fire truck, we got to discuss the fire truck now. We're going to
Are we done with that?
No, because we got to decide that. So now we got to go with the fire truck here. I asked you to send me the VIN number and the year of the fire truck. Is that the one we're talking about that you sent me?
Right.
Was that truck 8 from where you just said it from? That truck's not from Oregon. It's from Oklahoma.
That was originally
It's in Oregon now, from what I understand.
Well, it could,
Okay, but it's the issue with the truck is,
has anyone put what engines in it?
yeah, has anybody pulled the build sheet on it?
I thought they did, but I'm not sure if they did.
If they did, you do not want the truck. It's got a max force in it.
Okay.
You got that engine for 3 years.
The whole max force, I don't need history on it. I know the max force. I used to work for a trucking company, so.
It's got a big
What's here, right there's the build sheet on it.
Why do you say we don't want this truck?
because of the big engine in it. That engine is a ticking time bomb.
What kind of engine's in it?
It's an international motor.
International max force.
Max Force, you call it?
Yes. They have EGR cooler issues. They have rear spin bushing issues. They have rod issues.
What engine would you suggest we go with?
Anything but that.
Truthfully, I would say it comes.
But even the Titans have their own issues too. That's
Not anywhere near what that engine does.
I know.
What about Detroit?
The newer ones, I don't hear real favorable about them.
But again, what's the use of the truck? That's the thing.
Yeah, who wants to buy it or something like that? Who wants to buy a ticking time bomb? I mean, we keep the house for 20, 30 years.
And that's, but if we just have to have something in mind, because they can probably find a chassis and build another one just like that. If they had found the right chassis with the right motor.
And the other thing is you plan on getting rid of 2 trucks, right? One's a 2,000, one's a 1,500 gallon tank. You're going with a 3,000 gallon tank.
2,500 is what they have on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're dropping tank capacity down.
Yeah.
What about trucks? I think they,
You don't think
Or take capacity.
we've got more water on another tank, on one of our other trucks. It's got, it carries water and it didn't used to carry water.
Right.
on our six, doesn't six carry water?
Well, are we,
Rescue?
are we sold on not buying that truck?
Yeah, I'm sold on not
Okay.
buying that truck.
Give me some guidelines on what you do want to buy then.
And you got a lot of options on that truck that you do not need for a tanker.
Well, it's just the chassis they found, and that's what they build around the chassis, because that's what this company does. They find decent chassis and build around it. Instead of getting a brand new chassis that's a $200,000, then adding their $100,000 equipment on top of it or more.
So this is the actual company who's redoing fire truck or making fire trucks.
Correct?
Yeah, this company, that's all they do is build fire trucks.
The chassis.
What's the name of the company?
Oh, I got it in the office there.
Yeah, give us the name of the place so we can.
But basically, yeah, you stay with, they keep the engine, they keep the chassis, they keep the cab, but everything else is.
Are we done with that, so she doesn't have to hang around?
Yeah, Abby, I'm sorry. You give us a lot of food for thought here. So yeah, I think if you want to go and hang up, that's fine then. But I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to be talking to you to get some more clarification on some things here. Okay?
Thanks, Abby.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
The other thing is, rather than paying them to find your chassis and build it and everything, have you looked into finding your own chassis and having someone put a tank on?
I guess if we get down to the money, how much money we want to spend.
Well, have you looked at it? Have you asked if we can do that?
I asked Ben, and Ben came up with 3 different trucks.
Okay, but he's asking you, so can we buy our own chassis and have someone put a tank or the tanker on?
I never asked that question.
We present that to Ben, is what they're asking, is like, hey, Ben, can we buy? And Ben, like I said, with his research and history, yeah, there's companies out there that build brand new ones, and this company's called SG Wilson. That's where he's looking at these trucks, SG Wilson. And they do build a lot of fire trucks, they build other trucks too. So that's what they specialize in.
I'll tell you, there's 2 people there that went through buying a tanker, and the company went bankrupt on them when they were building it. Right? We went through that, didn't you?
Yeah, we don't know any different. It's nothing about bankrupt too. I mean, it's just, they've been in business for a long time.
Your idea sounds like a better idea than what we went through.
Well, it gets down to how much it's going to cost. You know, I can buy a $179,000 truck now and not take a loan out.
I'm sure you can buy a chassis because you don't need no bump or anything.
They got a pump on it.
You have
Well, still, yeah. I'm sure you can get a chassis, a tank, and a pump, yeah, a lot cheaper than $179,000. Like I say, those numbers are taken back.
but again, doesn't have the feature that we're needing for our township on the tankers. And that's why there was 2 others he said would meet our needs, but they cost more compared to this one here. Yeah, it may not have the right engine in it that you guys are thinking we need. And maybe that's just the thing. Hey, we just need another different engine. This company, I believe, been around for many years, and they're still not looking going out. And it's the right equipment on it, the right pumps on there, that you know that pump company's been around.
So we'll vote on it. Do you want the fire truck or not?
I need to get more information. I'm satisfied with $79,000. I got to get more information.
Well, if we're not, like you say, if we're not satisfied, we don't have to vote. We just say, hey, we want more. We want different options. Whether we can find a different chassis with a different motor in it. We don't want that motor. Is what it comes down to. So I would say you just go back to Ben. Ben, we don't think that chassis is a good idea. That's it. It's as simple as that.
When you say chassis, does that include the engine and the cab?
It would be a complete straight truck.
You're going to get a price on a brand new chassis.
A brand new one, or you can get a used one.
That's what this company does. They take used.
You can get used ones. You tell them what special you want, you can get it.
It puts us out a little bit farther and get this truck because then they have to find that chassis, build the tank, the pumps and stuff like that. That's all it is. Especially us out a little bit farther, which.
Yeah, but does it need to be rushed?
No,
We've
we're
had the
not.
same two trucks for years now. It's not like it has to happen another day.
No, and
The
we're not.
question is how much money we're willing, extra money we're willing to spend. This 179,000 was a pretty good deal. Now, if we're willing to spend more money, then
It's a good deal for a good truck, but
Yeah, but not for that.
Not for that truck, it's not. Are you understanding this? The motor is, I worked in international hours, we put damn good engines in there.
I've been here for 27 years now. Yes, you do not want that truck. And what are you going to do when it throws right outside the block and you're down for a month waiting on a new motor to put in the truck? What are you going to do for a tanker?
okay, you're giving me a lot of negative things, and I'll guarantee you the same thing is probably happening to the Cummins engines. Don't tell me a Cummins engines are perfect. So, the same can go wrong.
Larry, just that's his opinion.
See if they could do this.
No, he's done nothing. He's left it up to the fire chief. He has done nothing.
But Larry, I mean, you can call somebody and see what they can do.
I will not call Selkings because I went, now, if Ben wants to call Selkings, that's fine. He knows what he wants.
Guys. Hey, guys, the issue it comes down to is we don't want to have the issue Bluffton had, where they had two trucks built for them.
I know.
I don't know, I think it was local companies. And the insurance would not cover them. So guess what? Those two trucks were worthless. They paid money for it. Insurance would not cover
That was a hoax.
Right. So
It was a hoax.
It can happen on this one.
it could happen, right? But this company here, I believe, meets all the requirements and says, hey, this is we need specs.
I know if it's in your warranty.
I don't know what kind of warranty they have,
Let's move on.
but
We'll move on, but tell Ben what we want.
get more information on that, see what kind of warranty they carry, and if they can find another chassis with that, get another different chassis with a different motor with the specs he wants.
Okay. So
Next,
but the advertising paper's dead then, right? That's
yeah, that's so good.
okay. Discuss the staggering board elections.
Okay, we agreed, a few months ago that, we wanted Tony Crowell to pursue, what takes to stagger the elections. And so I just need to, get the official, I gave you guys how much it was going, he said it was not, it would be under $1,500, not to exceed $1,500. And he drew up this resolution here to do that. And
You got enough for all of us, or?
What would your resolution number be?
This is 7232025.
yeah, that's the one. If you guys go with it, that's the one I'd like to have you sign.
Well, I got stuff highlighted in here.
Okay, did you want to discuss it? I mean, tell me what you want to talk about.
No, I just highlighted it so I knew what the paper was.
So we just need, I agree with it. I make the motion, we approve resolution number 723/2025.
Right, there's a number on that.
Write it down and we'll sign it. So write that resolution, 723.
You got a number on it?
Okay. I make a motion, we approve that resolution. As presented.
Hold on one second.
Second.
All in favor?
Hold on, I'm not done reading it yet. I'm the one who's supposed to be that. Hold your horses there.
Hey, but I sent you this. You've had it for months.
I wouldn't say months.
You've had it plenty of time. I guarantee you that.
Okay, all right, you got, you second it, all in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a copy of everything.
I don't know if you guys knew about the second election. When Tim, all four of us, three of us were brand new on the board. Tim was from the other board. Tim suggested that he's run,
All four of us was, because I ran again because nobody else was running.
but you had experience. So and Tim said, I don't really want to run again, but I will run because if not, there's going to be four brand new people on the board.
I wish I would have hit my thumb with the hammer before I did that.
Right, that's,
I don't get the answer.
all right, let's,
Let me get this sign here. I don't forget about it.
Yeah.
okay, discuss the township assistance guidelines.
Okay, what we had to, we had finally agreed on guidelines except for, at our last meeting, except for it's $250, and we changed the guidelines to read the way you guys wanted them.
And the quick guide.
And you're
And I'll attach the quick guide, yes.
is there anything on that?
I've got,
I can't believe we're getting this done already. It's only been 3 years.
As long as it's all together, I'm not saying until it's all together.
Yeah,
I'm not relying on you to put it together and me sign it. It's got to be together before I sign it. So if you got it all lined together, then we'll go ahead and sign it. But
okay,
it's
I've
gotta
got
be all
right here,
together.
I've got the township assistance quick guideline. And everything behind here is the actual guidelines that you guys have approved in the past. It's the same thing you approved, so I've got it all.
Real quick, that, so we can verify that, and then we can move on. And then what, because you have a page number on that one, so where the update is there, so just let David look at that, and then if he's satisfied with that, then we can move forward.
So it's gonna be for 2 and 2 or 1 and 3 or
What's that now?
for the election.
It'd be two get 4-year terms, and the other two will get, so the trustee will get a 4-year term, and one board member will get a 4-year. The other two will get a 2-year term after that. And so that would be 28, those two will go back up for election 28, and after that, there'll be a 4-year term.
Yeah, the most vote getters get the longer term.
Right.
Ooh, poor guy.
I mean,
Well,
we had seen it,
we all worked together back then.
yeah. we did. I'm wrong for 10, 15 years.
It's per application, not per reapplication. It's 250 per application.
Well, that reply each time, so that's just, he just worded it pre-reapplication, so each time they reapply, they can get back up to that.
Yeah, every 180. All right. Yep, okay. Is this the one you want us to sign?
So I make a motion, approve the township guideline as presented.
Second. All in favor?
Boys, to be honest, I didn't think we were ever going to get that done.
To be honest, I wish you would have listened to what the board had suggested a long time ago. We would have had it done.
You know, you guys listen to me, code.
What do you mean? You were supposed to have this before you paid any money out of it. It's already paid out. You were supposed to have this before you paid any money out. That's a code too, Larry.
My question becomes to him, why wasn't it ever in place before he ever took office? That's where it becomes, why
We
wasn't it?
had guidelines, didn't we?
That's
I'll come in and out of the courthouse and.
discuss the employee nepotism policy.
Changed.
What's this? We've already gone through this nepotism policy.
Let me explain that. Are you guys going to want a copy of, well, yeah, get them to you later, 'cause it's gonna be a lot of cost. Okay. On the nepotism policy, the issue we've got is what you guys, there's two different kinds of nepotism policies. There's a nepotism policy for the contractor, like my brother, from the cemetery. We had to have a nepotism conflict of interest for him, but we also had to have a nepotism policy for contractors that would tell me that I had to have a contract for my brother Tom. But then when we had the audit, the auditor said, Larry, where is your nepotism policy for employees?
I thought we signed that last week.
You signed, we didn't have a policy. You guys did what was right. You signed it, but I never had an actual policy in place. And that's why we got, this is what I need to have you guys look at now. And this is,
I thought we signed our personal ones over the last time.
you did, you signed your personal one, but I never had the nepotism policy. The nepotism policy should have been in effect prior to you guys signing what you signed.
Well, exactly, and you didn't follow it, so no, I'm not signing another, I'm not signing one.
This is not,
You hired a brother that was ours. I'm not signing nepotism policy now.
let's listen to it. This is a nepotism policy for employees. Tom is a contractor. What we're saying,
Covered.
So it's covered.
no,
We don't need to
you're
worry
not.
about it then.
We got written up on our audit because we didn't have a nepotism
I'm not
policy.
signing another one.
You don't understand.
I'm not
Two
signing
different
another one.
things.
Not signing another one.
So let me see that one you have. I just want to see it.
Okay, let me just find one thing here.
If you should have this done earlier, you should have it done earlier. Before you did all this and you hired all this.
I did not understand all the rules.
Hey, that's,
Once again, the state was up on audit, which
we requested all this stuff a long time ago.
I
It
know,
was
but
requested, AJ. It was requested. So don't start giving me crap. It was his responsibility.
again,
Was it not his responsibility?
let me
Was it not his responsibility? Was it his responsibility or not, AJ?
once you got out of the state,
Was it his responsibility? Okay, clear that. She gave me this information a long time ago.
right, and they tried to get it corrected, and again,
He gave me this information a long time ago.
when the state came back and said, hey, that's still not enough, we need more. That's where he's coming back.
Let me read this email that the state sent to Larry, sent on June 6th. It says, we have received the attached corrective action plan on June 6th for the outstanding nepotism policy CAT. However, we had already received and accepted a plan. So it says they had accepted our nepotism plan right here in the email from the state.
When I talked to them later, they said, Larry, you've got a contract nepotism policy, but you do not have an employee. So that means you guys are not covered under the nepotism. I
had already signed our policy.
You signed that, there wasn't a policy in effect that said you were supposed to sign a policy.
We did nepotism in February, nepotism in April, we did nepotism in June, and now we're doing nepotism again. And we haven't, the email from the state says it was covered.
Okay, so what's gonna come down to, if the state's still not happy with what we have, they need to send us three an email saying, hey, we're not happy.
Yep. They
So
gotta send it
if
to
the
us.
state's still not happy with what they have, they need to get with us. Just tell the state that the board wants better explanation from them of why we need a better nepotism policy.
See, we,
I just explained it, you guys just aren't listening.
No, they want it from the state. They want it from the mouth, the people's mouth at the state house.
You just explained it, and explained it, and explained it. And you just find this.
Larry, that's Larry. Larry.
Alphabet.
Guys, that's why Larry, you need to have the state explain it to us this time around, okay?
this is from the state, this email.
Just let it.
But if there's something still not 100% complete, let the state just needs to tell
From
us.
the State Board of Accounts CAP, Corrective Action Plan. That's where the email came from.
This here is part of the capital.
I said they accepted it. It says
They
we're done.
No, what they accepted, Tim, was the fact that I told them I was going to straighten this out. I had to turn in.
Larry, okay, enough. Just have it. These two want it from the state saying that, not from you. They don't trust you to say that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that.
True statement.
I'm just, that's.
Thank you, Dave, for stating that. Okay, Larry, now let's discuss the credit card policy. What do you got with that?
I thought we did that last year too, didn't we? Or
I thought so. I thought it should have been done at the first of the year, but once again,
Once again,
I don't know what happened.
I've got the minutes here. You guys agreed to, I never had a policy. I showed you what I had, and you guys agreed to accept that. But I never had an official policy. And that's what the state wants from me, is an official policy. And that's what I've got here.
Well, I don't know that we ever discussed it, because if
It's in
we
the
would
minutes.
have discussed it back this year, then I would not have signed it or voted on
I've
it.
got it in the minutes that you guys discussed it and approved it.
Do you remember approving it?
I think we did.
Right here,
So it's done.
this is in the minutes.
So it's in the minutes, it's done.
But I don't have, you agreed to it, but I never had a signed policy from you guys. And that's what I've got here. I've got a signed policy, and one of the things you wanted to change, Tim, is you wanted to make sure that if I've got a card that pays rewards, and the rewards would go back into the fund, that, like if it was paid out of the general fund, the rewards would go back into the general fund. And I've got that, and I've highlighted that here. So I've made that change, but to have this policy in effect, I need to have you guys sign it. And this is,
So how much is the max on that?
I don't know, I think it's 5,000.
We've asked and asked for an itemized of it, and he never gives it to us, so I'm done with the credit card. If you guys want to pass it, you go ahead.
You
I'm done with it.
You get every month,
No, it
I
doesn't-
send
it does
you
not say,
the credit card policy with it's itemized on there.
no, it's not.
Tim, are you getting it? I take the credit card statement and I write line by line if it went into the general fund and what it went for, and I do that on every line, and I send it to you every month.
It doesn't say office most of the time. It doesn't say anything.
Because it probably went off.
You can get it, Larry, but I'm not signing it. If they do want to do it, they can, but I'm not. You guys can sign it, I don't care, but I'm not.
So your issue you have right now is the office supply receipt.
No, it's not, it's always the same thing. He doesn't list what he wants.
Like general.
Yeah.
And then at times you go on gas.
Yes, he voted yes.
He never, he's not really put on there what.
Yes, we're done with it. We're go into it. Get done with it. We told him, I'm done with it.
every line. Office supplies, you want me to put down, okay,
Well,
staples.
Larry,
I
that's
bought
just one
paper.
example. Like we said, you bought gas, you've not explained it to us as to where,
I
what
put down,
fund it's come out
I
of.
did too.
No, you did not. You did not.
Even, I can go in and get it and show it to you.
I've already been through it, and we've already asked you to do it, and you ain't done it, Larry.
So let me see that, what we have there, so I can look over it and see what it's saying.
He did it for a few months and then he quit.
I know, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I know. You should have never gave it to him. I'm with you. Well, I said the truth. Jesus Christ.
Credit card, and paid it out of the township.
That's not what we're looking for.
That's why you have to be so careful. One thing you should just start,
You have to issue with anybody.
because once it's passed on, they don't realize what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. Does it say anything about if the trustees term ends that credit card is no?
Yeah, that's what I
no-
told you.
Yeah, that should really.
It really should be in
I mean, that is terminated. That credit card policy is terminated if the trustee changes.
Yes.
Yes.
My 20 years, we got a receipt from the gas station. If you ever walk in, we put it down, we wrote a check, put it there.
Well, the trouble is, most places won't take checks anymore, especially gas stations, they won't take checks. And that's where you run into the
Yes, the money's supposed to be going to Jefferson Township, and I guarantee you, I could ride, walk into one of these gas stations, but I've done it for years.
He's got like a
So,
crash plan to do the data and all
you go
that.
to Fort Wayne, you might not be able to write a check in places, but you can.
But there's other, David said he
I'll send you.
I don't want to see it, Larry. I've seen enough of it. I've seen plenty of enough of it. Like Tim said, you done it for a little bit, and then you don't do it.
I have been doing it for over a year.
Yeah, but see, the last stuff you sent doesn't have it on there. You got a page like that on there every day.
But that's actual. All I can send out is actual check in the auditor.
Yeah, he didn't send it.
I sent it to.
No, we're not.
You're not getting it at the same time because I have to wait until the credit card comes in and gets paid and it gets sent out, normally gets sent out separately.
But I haven't seen that.
I sent this out for the last year.
There you go again.
That's fine, but
We're all liars. Let's admit it. The board, we're liars. Oh, we are. We're liars.
I'm just saying,
I'll accept it, Larry. We're liars. Okay, go on. But I'm not signing it, so go ahead. We're liars. We're liars. That's okay.
nice. My kids.
Okay.
I'm still reading over this. I'm still reading over this.
What do you use your credit card for?
Anything to do with the office.
Well, these township assistants, yes, yeah.
We got like we got a thing called a DR crash plan. That system. It's automatically taken out of credit card automatic $9.99 a month.
So number two issue.
We've got a Microsoft plan,
So
365. That comes automatically out of the credit card. We've got a phone that comes out of here.
But then, where's the termination? There,
The office
yeah,
supplies,
there ought to be.
and there
There ought to be.
was some cemetery maintenance. This is basically what it is.
But you could write checks for these.
I write one check for the whole thing.
Yeah, he writes one check to cover all that. So then that gives us no way to track it. Yeah, he actually did it. There you go. See, and that's what we don't like. We want to be able to track what he's paying.
If you get something like this, are you satisfied?
I'm done
I'm being satisfied, Larry. I'm done being satisfied with you.
You only do credit card, only in an emergency situation that you cannot write a check for, right?
Correct.
Otherwise, you do all checks.
Right.
I mean, we pay probably 20, 30 checks a week. You
That's-
do.
That's why he's only got like 4 every month. There's only, this is the same 4, and 3 of them are recurring expenses from companies that only take.
Well, our concepts is on here, and they're taking a check.
It's more convenient for me to do this.
Well, why would you do the convenience? It's not what your job is.
I do it right, Kevin.
Oh,
Well.
okay.
He's doing it right.
Maybe I'm not doing it where you do it, but I'm doing what works for me.
Well, we did what worked for the people.
And it works for the people also. Actually, I'm getting the results back from this. Every dollar I spend with the credit card company, I get reimbursed.
You know exactly what's fun.
Yes, I do. I know exactly what.
I can put that into your budget,
I can't put it into my budget.
budget money.
I
Right, Larry?
Termination or.
Won't that be the money then? that
Need
you're
to be turned.
turning over to the state? Because it's extra money that's not in the budget. It's not budget money, so it will be turned over to the state.
It'll be less money than we'll budget the next year.
I think they need to be turned.
Turn around and give it to the state, because you're right.
Well, that's what you have to turn it, right, 'cause it's gonna have a.
Why don't you put the cards need to be reissued? One of the official changes.
Well, any card will have the user name on it. So like my company credit card have my name on it, even though it's not my credit. So it's, like I said, it's got my name and like work on there. And that's the way his credit card should be. It should say Larry Hepburn Township, Jefferson Township. If it doesn't say that, then it should be.
Let's say, Larry, no, say that it would put Jefferson Township on it.
Okay, so you need more of a business card and not a personal card.
They wouldn't give it.
Which bank is she with?
What are you saying the benefit of having his name on it would be?
Because he can only be able to use it. Because it has,
That's a way to check out the company. And it even comes up on screen, is this, they click right through it and go ahead and continue to check.
That would chase it.
Yeah. And the number on the back is the tax exempt number with Office Depot.
Yes.
Well, we wanted something on, if the trustee changes, the card has to be reissued.
Well, it would have to be. I mean, nobody's going to take my card and be able to buy anything with it. This system works out good. It's, there's nothing wrong with the system here.
As long as you give us that, we give us that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the same.
Okay, so what are you guys gonna do?
so they'll need to redo that policy with some more wording in there about asking the user's name and it can't be used by anybody else, and then at the end of either termination or at the end of the term, it needs to be turned in and can't, I need to write out cancel.
What about him telling us what categories he spent money in? Is that in there?
Yeah, that's number 5.
If I send you this with this,
You said you already sent it to us.
and did you receive it? You told me you never got it.
No,
Never received it,
let's
Larry.
make sure when
I'm a liar about it.
because you guys in the chat, he's in the chat, so you have that statement when you got the chat, so
I'm asking you if I send you this.
that's one thing that they want to know.
It
Just want to see if they're happy. They should be, because they want to see, hey, where'd you spend that money?
That in there. was spent in.
Oh, number 6, sorry. Credit card should be used to, should not be used to bypass the accounting system when using the purchase orders or issues to provide the fiscal officer with means to cover contract appropriations to provide the adoption or another version. Finally, an accurate accounting information not in the accounting system, not in the field must be used for all transactions. So,
Yeah, so we're supposed to get that.
so Larry just needs to send that statement along with the checks that you guys sent us. It may be an oversight on your part.
I'm going to pull that out and approve to you that I've been sending it to you.
Just because you got it doesn't mean we got it.
Larry,
Larry said it.
okay, guys, that's enough. I was just saying, Larry, even on my end, I haven't been seeing it, so it might be falling through the cracks. It may not be scanning right when you scan everything. So just make sure when you send that off, it's scanning with that statement, okay? And so same time, same email, same scan. All right, anything else?
Discuss the cemeteries.
Tim had one of that, but on the agenda, I don't know exactly what Tim wanted.
Well, are we done with the cemeteries?
Cemeteries, all 3 cemeteries are completed. Elhanan, we were going to Gary White and Betty Oaks said that they would take and clean the stones, and it was going to save the township probably about $2,000. But all the cemeteries have been repaired except for the cleaning of some of the tombstones at Elhanan.
And Stonehuggers is done, right? They're done with all their work.
They're all done.
Hold on, repeat that again. What did you say that you said that Stonehugger said, or you said that Gary White and his wife was to save $2,000?
Gary White and Betty Oaks are going to save. The original quote for it was about $8,000 and some dollars. And Gary said, why don't you just let me and Betty take care of cleaning the cemetery stone? And so I said, if you guys don't mind doing it, do it. You're going to do it for, there's certain standards that you do it so you don't go to a tombstone. They're going to do it the same way Stonehuggers was going to do it. There's this product called D2 that Stonehuggers use to clean the cemetery. You spray them on there, and then you just wait, you scrub them down, and then you wait. Sometimes it takes a month or 2 months before they really start turning white again.
How did you find all this out?
Repair the Austin Cemetery.
Oh, okay.
Well, I got a letter here, and I've got some emails, and it's kind of upsetting, really. It's from Stonehuggers. And the last meeting, we signed internal controls, and we had a
No,
note.
you didn't sign it.
Yeah, we did, with 1 page of it. We signed page 7.
You didn't, okay, sign 1 page. You didn't
Yeah,
sign the whole-
and there was an oversight committee, and it was the 3 of us. And so I think the oversight committee needs to look at this here. Letter from Stonehuggers. I got 1 extra copy. You guys want to see it?
You guys want to see that? If you want to see it, go. You guys want one? Yeah. Because you know what it is, don't you? Let them read it.
Now, in case you got any questions, I want to here, you can read it while we're. Alvin or something.
Actually,
Thanks.
I was approached by Lancaster Township because since I repaired this cemetery, they asked me if I could give them names of somebody to repair the Oak Land Cemetery. So I gave him my brother's name and I gave him Stonehuggers. And my brother quote came in less than what Stonehuggers was.
Have you read it all?
Yeah, I read the whole letter.
You ain't read the whole thing yet. Before you better watch yourself before you better read the whole thing before you start telling us what you did. Trust me.
Okay, what do you see wrong here?
What I see wrong, there's emails on the back that Stonehuggers had an agreement with Lancaster before that ever took place. And then you come in there and promise them 2 more contracts. And they would like your brother to do that at Lancaster. That isn't right.
Did you do that, Larry? Did you promise them 2 more contracts if they gave up the one like
If they were the low bidder, they would have got the contract.
No, wait, no. Read what it says. They said that you called them
Yeah.
and told them you give up the Lancaster Township ones and I will give you ones in Jefferson Township. Did you tell them that?
Yes, I did.
You did tell them that.
Yes, I did.
And you're admitting it right now that you did tell them that? And you see nothing wrong with that?
I have to save money, we save money.
No, guys, I just want to get a problem with it. If you have anything like this, you need to refer to the state police.
That's true.
That's the only thing I can say.
You gotta take it to the
It's not, nothing we can give them, nothing we can say.
Well, still get discussed in a public forum.
Yeah, it could be discussed in a public forum.
That's now, it's now you're calling it a criminal investigation. And
I don't know that's criminal. That's somebody else's decision.
Well, that's why we can't work, that's why we can't
Pass
discuss,
this letter up.
that's why we can't discuss it, because to me, that's criminal. And when we discuss it, that fuzzies up the water, and the criminal happen. So if you guys have an issue with that, you need to refer to the state police.
If you think it's criminal, does that mean you're not thinking it should go to the police?
This is the first time I'm seeing this. Their steps should have been referred to the state police. That's what I'm saying. If they're thinking that way, and
Bring it up to your attention or the rest of
This is the oversight committee. That's why I brought it up. It's oversight.
but again,
I wanted you guys' opinion on what you think we ought to do.
it should have been reported to the state police. That's my opinion.
So, and you're stating the truth, right, AJ, that you're stating this is the first time you're seeing it, correct?
This is the first time I've heard rumors, but this is the first time I've seen it.
Okay.
So, but again, it should have been pursued the correct way, and this is not the correct way. We're not here to investigate, and if you feel like there's something
I'm not investigating. I want to know why he would do that. Because one, if he didn't have a contract for the other 2 cemeteries, how do you make that promises? It's got timelines on here. If you don't have a contract for the other 2 cemeteries, when you made this, plus you shouldn't be making it. You can have it. I got another copy.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Now, on to the fire.
Okay, I received a, well, I was at the town council meeting when Ben Fennismaker addressed your 10 suggested changes you wanted in the fire agreement. And Ben answered all of those questions in front of the town council. And after he read all those, the town council discussed it. And this is the letter that the town council has sent, just certified to me. You've all got a copy of this. To whom it may concern, the Austin Town Council has reviewed your requested changes to the Austin Jefferson Township Fire Agreement. Austin Town Council respectfully declines to make the requested changes to the current fire agreement.
You got a lot of work to do then, Larry.
This is between you and the town of Austin.
No, you are the one responsible for the fire protection. We failed the attorney and got something brought up. It didn't work out because they didn't want to come and answer our questions. Dennis even said, Ben doesn't have to come and answer your questions. He did show up. I appreciate that. But the next contract we'll have in there where he is, if we want answers on questions, he's to come to the meeting.
So Austin responded to that saying, and for continue with, they want the same agreement that we signed
I responded. I will sign that.
So you're telling the residents of Jefferson Township that you're not.
No, I'm telling them Larry needs to work on it.
I'm not, this isn't between, the fire agreement is in place. I'm happy with the fire agreement we had. And
But
we
you
had,
gotta have an agreement we'll sign.
I understand that.
But that falls on you, Tim, if you not, what,
No,
so,
it's not Larry. Doesn't,
no, the
it's his
town,
job.
he took,
AJ, it's his job. It's his job.
he did take it to the town, and I responded back.
So he's got to figure out how he can make us like it then.
And that's where Austin wants you to show up to the meeting and talk to them face to face.
It wasn't on their agenda.
It's always on their agenda.
It wasn't, that was not on their agenda.
You gotta have a joint meeting advertised.
It was
We
not on
tried
their
to have
agenda.
a joint meeting, you guys wouldn't join.
So give Larry,
You gave us a 4-day notice to that, Larry.
all right, so their next meeting is the second Tuesday of next month. Would you guys be able, the second Monday of the month, would you guys be able to make that if we made a joint meeting? Second Monday.
I got a couple of questions pertaining to the fire department, a little off subject.
So,
I can't make that one.
Why is fire department a third party,
that's what they,
separate entity?
that's what they set up years ago. I
I
can't tell you.
understand why.
And that's what I wanted. I want that agreement between Austin Fire Inc., the town, in the township, so they answer
Yeah.
anything we have. And they're saying if they change that agreement, there'll be a lot more stuff they demand. They're holding us hostage. And that's what they've always done. Always. Back when you were in there, that was the same issue we had.
So I can tell you this, the town council won't even, unless you come up with another date. Of when they can meet with us.
Just be a joint just for the fire,
Right.
not.
Gotta come up with a date, so you give Larry a whole bunch of dates that he can get to the town council, see when they can have a joint meeting. So you guys get with Larry and see what dates will work.
I gotta look at my calendar at home.
Just let him know and he'll pass that on. And he'll send us a response from Ossian when they can meet.
I don't see where the joint meeting is going to gain anything. Ben and the town, Ben has answered all of your questions, and the town agreed they're
No.
not going to change it.
No, Larry. Dennis even said in that meeting, Ben doesn't have to talk to you guys. He didn't have to come that night. I appreciate him coming that night, but the next contract is going to have in there so we can get some answers if we want answers on stuff. We're spending half that budget money. We deserve to be able to ask him questions just like they do.
Once he gets the budget, you'll be able to ask him questions.
Well,
And that'd probably be a good time to have a
pay
joint
at the
meeting.
2025 rate was not something that I'm aware of anybody else does. Just because you paid it in the next year. That's nobody does that.
Well, even if they had, it was irrelevant because they hadn't gotten raises in several years. So the fourth quarter pay was the same as the first quarter pay, so there would have been a difference.
There should have been. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and until the contract changed, right.
Yeah, because the second period is actually the first period, so you started the second period.
Yeah.
Visualize- visualize that.
What about September 8th?
I gotta look at home, Larry. I don't.
Make a note, it's the second
So we
Monday.
need to do it more before September.
Well, what's going to happen? We're going to drag this thing out like last year. I signed it on the last day.
I said to him, find a whole bunch of dates. I will for you.
You want a joint meeting, just a joint meeting though, just between us.
That's what they want. So let's see what we can do for next month.
I don't know. That's your job. to get something that we could sign. That's your job, Larry. We told you what we want,
You have something.
But it's awesome.
and that is up to you to figure that
You
out
signed the contract last year.
after we made changes. After we made changes, and we tried to work with them another year, but it didn't work out. It just hasn't worked out.
Well, Tim, that's why you say we need to set up this meeting so you can figure out. Larry's presented what you wanted to, and Austin responded no. So now at this point, Larry's job is to get you in front of them so you can explain why you want this. And then they can explain to you why they're saying no.
Not technically, no.
This is between the board, you guys, and them.
Who's ultimately culpable if there's an issue? Everybody.
Back, no.
No.
No, it's in the state, it's in the code. It's in the code, Larry.
We're not responsible for fire protection.
I'm to draw.
We just have to vote on it.
I have to draw the agreement.
No, it doesn't say where we
It does not say that you have to decide what you put it out in front of us, where we've gone through this.
Give me some dates in August.
I
Whatever.
All three, give me dates in
Last
August.
year during all of this, people kept saying, just sign the contract and we can hash it out next year, whether it's more
That's
time.
where we're here.
Didn't I ask this the first of the year, right after the first year for Larry to do something, and he refused me?
And he's
Well, it's in the minutes. It's in the minutes,
Larry,
he refused me.
Guys.
He refused me.
Because
He
Larry
refused me.
needs more direction from you guys. He got the direction in the last meeting.
Yes, we have. We gave him direction. He's
And now we need to go back to the town of Austin and ask them directly why they won't do this.
okay, so why
They
didn't we ask? Why
They
didn't we
responded. They didn't respond.
Then I didn't ask why they was there. They weren't supposed to begin with, so nobody knew they were gonna discuss it. And he should have asked that when he was there then.
The fire
He was a
department-
trustee.
the fire department's always on the schedule.
Yeah,
But he never
No,
showed you told us he wasn't. You told us at the last meeting. It's in the minutes. You told us he's not there at every meeting.
He's not there every meeting.
So wait a minute, you said it's
But
discussed.
there's always discussion for the fire department if somebody wants to discuss the fire department. Whether it's you guys, me, Larry,
For
Vic,
them, but not
Not
us.
on us. Last week you tell us, last week you tell us he's not there every meeting. Wait,
August.
Larry, we just let them email you, figure out what can work.
see,
And at this point, it's on the board for not sitting down and getting this figured out.
it's on the board. It is not on the board.
Yes, it is on
No,
the
it's
board.
not. I asked for this clear back in the first of the year, right after the first of the year, and I got refused. Did I not, AJ? Are you going to deny
You
that?
didn't get exactly refused. You got told that you wait until after the budget.
Yeah, that's right. I got told, so by golly, what are we discussing it for, AJ? Because he says we don't have to discuss it until after the budget. So that was my response to it.
Then we-
What's it out there? Will you admit that was your response? Was that your response to me?
Listen to me.
Or will you admit that was your response to me?
If I can't talk, I don't want to have another.
I just want to ask you, is that what you told me?
If I can explain it.
What did you tell me that?
All right, this is a good point. Anything else?
What did you tell me that?
Anything else?
Shut up and let me tell you.
Wow, no, all I'm asking is yes or no. Did you tell me that? Yes?
Yes, I said that, but then I said, we need to start discussing the language before we have the budget. Because we need to get
Okay,
the
so,
language
all right,
straightened
okay,
out.
all right. I give you that. Let's stop right there. So,
The town told
let me ask you, then, why did you decide to discuss it? Who told you to discuss it?
I told myself to.
the town
No, you're
told
telling
us that in the second meeting. I said the town needs, told us to start working.
Now you're lying, Larry.
All right, let's just move forward.
Are you gonna admit to lying or not?
Guys, let's move
Okay,
forward.
thank you.
How do we want to have this?
It's done.
How do we want to have this meeting with the town?
Find out what dates work for everybody and what works for the town.
David's already refused to tell me what dates are going to work for him.
Don't worry about that. Just if you find a meeting for 10, if you
He'll
find a meeting for
provide me with
10,
dates that will work.
I'll look.
that's all we can do right now. We got to figure out what can
I'll
work.
look. I'm gonna think about whether this is my responsibility first too. Yeah.
It says, but they can do what they want.
The reason I know that it's Larry's responsibility, it happened to us. this has been going on for years and years and years. And which had to go before the fire department. They had a meeting, and that's how they came up with the last contract. Not the board. Board was not included. It was only the trustee and the fire department. Which,
Was you guys in 1992 when they, the fire department signed a contract with the town? 1992 was the date on that contract.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's,
But that needs to have our name on there too.
it has to, yeah. But the actual contract that was agreed upon was done by the trustee. But he did take Lloyd with him because Lloyd was the last trustee.
Yeah.
And he had Lloyd with him. But that's who the two people were.
Carolyn, I got with the town's lawyer and I got
No, you
with,
don't need lawyers. It's
please,
just the.
please. I drew the contract up.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
I went down to Tony Crowell and sat down there, and Tony and I hedged that contract.
The original contract I drew up, and then I gave it to Tony, and I said, Tony, put this in lawyer terms. And then after Tony was done with it, they gave it to the town lawyer to review it. But I initially drew up the contract.
And that was never signed.
No,
No.
because we weren't done with it. I wanted the lawyers to approve it.
No,
But
the town told us they weren't even going to consider our contract. When I said we're working with an attorney, they said, we aren't even going to consider your contract. You figure out what you're going to do with your fire equipment come December 31st. And that's just the way they approached it.
That's what's going to happen in this year. If you continue to fight the way you're fighting, it's going to be done at the end of the year.
We're going to stick up for the township people. We're sticking up for the township people. You aren't.
Hey guys, how about this? Larry, reach it. Since she's our accountant, can she figure out what it's gonna cost us to, the initial cost to start up her own fire department? Can she figure that out?
That's not even what we hired her for.
She's an accountant, it's just what she
Yeah,
wants.
but we have more money.
We need to know what it's gonna cost us.
You told us last year you wanted to start your own fire department.
We need to know what the.
I had somebody that was willing to start it when the town told us to get our stuff out of there.
$114,916. I don't think that's a real good price.
Okay.
You guys act like this is impossible. Huntington Township separated from the city of Huntington for this very same reason, and they're doing great. So why do you guys act like this is an
They're
impossible?
doing great right now, but they want to 5 years of pure hell. I talked to them about it.
Are they happy now?
I'm assuming they're
They're
happy.
not in bed with a corrupt city of Huntington anymore? Because everyone I've talked to over there is happy as hell that they
They're
got it.
happy now, but they went through hell to get there.
Okay, everything takes a little suffering.
Everything's got to be hell.
From what I understand, it takes a whole lot more information to form your own fire department than just saying, we're going to form a fire department.
So we don't anything at all.
We need to find out the cost. Find out the cost.
Study up on that for you.
Yeah, just hurry up.
Are you guys ready to adjourn this meeting?
Yeah, I'm ready. Any other questions?
Motion to adjourn the meeting. What time is it?
Hold on, he's got one more thing, I don't know what here, let's see what it is.
David, you wanted to sign the checks? This is from the State Board of Accounts telling you that it's not a good idea.
You know what? I got this, Larry. But you know what they said our recourse was? Don't approve the annual meeting then. That's your recourse. If you think he is paid for stuff that is not supposed to be paid for or paid for stuff out of that contract, you don't approve your annual meeting. So that's where that's at.
Oh, that's, what, anything else? Anything else to add? Okay, I make the motion, we adjourn the meeting. Anybody?
I'll second that.
All
What
in
time? 7:55.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just like going to the circus, you don't even have to buy a ticket. Can help your recovery. Any rich? Yeah.
He had worked really hard as a trustee.
If you guys need wine set tickets for him.
Hey, thanks, Bob. Appreciate you coming tonight.
You didn't get in there, you should have gotten in there, you are a citizen of Jefferson Township. So you didn't just come because you're a selling employee.
He knows me.
Yeah, well, he acted like he didn't know you, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullshit. He knows me.
Yeah.
Even my brother does.
Well, I didn't get any guidance from our oversight committee, did I?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Carolyn, for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thank you. Yeah, thank